Honorable participants of the conference, let me present the result of the study, keyword-based study of the semantic vocabulary in British weather news carried out by the group of scholars Nataliya, Bondarchuk, Bekhta, Oksana, Melnychuk, and Olha Matvienkiv. The survey centers on the examination of keywords and related themes representing weather in 4 daily British online newspapers, The Times, The Guardian, The Daily Mail, and The Sun between 2014 and 2017. The objectives of the study are the following: to expose frequently occurring words, keywords in the corpus, to categorize them into groups according to relevant themes in the text, to identify the quantitative content of each lexical-thematic group, as well as to determine dominant themes of weather news. Despite the necessity of keyword research, thematic quantitative analysis provide deeper insight into text-specific weather-related vocabulary and its textualizing role. The obtained results highlight the link between the themes and lexical level of the text, proving the efficiency of keyword analysis in the research. This paper presents an interdisciplinary approach that incorporates linguistic and computer-based statistical techniques to the analysis of weather-related vocabulary to define dominant themes that are specific to weather news of British press, thus offering prospects for better understanding of its contextualizing and textualizing role. Keyword analysis is a widely used method in various sciences and fields, in particular corpus linguistics. Keyword extraction is an optimal way while clustering, classifying, indexing, and visualizing texts of different discourses, genres, text types. However, the application of keyword analysis to the text or corpus requires further interpretation of the results, since keywords which are blindly extracted on the basis of their frequencies do not convey a relationship with other words, keywords, or text. Therefore, in our research, the generation of keywords is a starting point of the analysis for further categorization of keywords into lexical-thematic groups representing weather. We understand lexical-thematic groups as a group of lexical units used within the text interchangeably to convey certain semantic meaning. The procedure of our analysis involves 3 procedural steps: corpus compilation, keyword analysis, semantic and quantitative analysis. The data used in the study is the corpus of weather news selected from British online daily newspapers between 2014 and 2017, The Times, The Guardian, The Daily Mail, and The Sun, which consists of 746,324 words taken from 180 newspaper articles. While compiling the corpus, the following criteria were considered. Firstly, the time frame of 4 years to represent recent use of the related themes. Secondly, open access articles to be easily downloaded. And finally, the text from 4 websites were selected by using the search term weather. The dataset was made into text file and later imported to WordSmith software. One next step was to extract keywords using WordSmith Tools. For this reason, the British National Corpus was chosen as a suitable one, since all data are specific to British English. Consequently, we constructed 2 word frequency lists with the help of WordList tool of a target corpus of weather text and of a reference corpus, and generated a keyword list. We have taken into account both statistically significant positive or high frequency and negative, unusually low frequency keyword items using log likelihood ratio. The reason for taking into consideration words with low frequencies is that our reference corpus consists of a collection of rather small texts. Consequently, the distribution of some words in the text may be uneven and some of the semantic lines might be lost. As stated by Grice, corpora are inherently variable internally, and low-frequency keywords may help us find additional local themes of weather news. In this case, the issue may be solved by generating a word list for each single text in the research corpus, but it would be very time-consuming. It is important to note here that the analysis was also restricted to content words only, which being the units of meaning we define to be directly related to the identification of the theme. Having compared 2 word frequency lists, we have obtained a computed list of keywords presented in the following table. The list of keywords was limited to 300 words. The presented list in the table provides only first 45 keywords and their frequencies, as they will be further investigated during the semantic grouping. The extraction of keywords provided insights into their further grouping by themes, and the potential of the key lexical units is realized within the whole text. Thus, our last step was to group the keywords into lexical-thematic groups, to define dominant themes related to the representation of weather. To this end, we worked out the following procedure. The context of each word form, the keyword list is checked using the concordancer, and the word is put into appropriate group manually. Two problematic issues that arose during the step were that of how to group the words that could fit into multiple thematic groups, and the second one, the words that do not fit into any one of them. We applied a systematic hierarchical decision-making procedure and critical analysis to solve this issue. If a word could fit into several thematic groups, it was categorized into each of them. And if a word didn't have an appropriate thematic group to be categorized, it was left out. Thus, the computed list of keywords was divided into 5 groups, each of which was classified thematically. As a result, the following groups were organized: weather extremes, climate, weather and people, weather and nature, and weather phenomena. In this step, quantitative analysis was also used to further explore and identify prevalent themes of weather news by finding the quantitative content of each thematic group. The first thematic group, weather extreme, consists of key lexical units that denote weather catastrophes that cause destruction of material, object casualties, and even deaths of people. The results are presented in the table, and the total number of lexical units forming this group is 111. The second thematic group, climate, is composed of the words denoting results and consequences of climate problems, their interrelation and impact on weather conditions. The next table presents the words that form the thematic group. The keywords, the meaning of which thematically reflects the impact of weather conditions on people's comfortable living environment, their safety and health. We refer to the third thematic group, weather and people. The keywords which are included into this group are shown in the following table. And thematic group weather and nature is characterized by the use of nominations of different species of plants and animals, as well as natural processes which are directly influenced by the weather. The following table shows the keywords that refer to this group. And the fifth thematic group, weather phenomena, includes key lexical units denoting different weather phenomena and their manifestations. The lexical composition of this group is provided in the table. Quantitative composition of each group is presented in the following pie chart diagram. We can see that the most numerous is the group weather extremes. And conclusions. Keywords appear as effective tools for the analysis of thematic focus of the text or corpus, while the analysis of individual keywords doesn't provide a consistent and exhaustive text analysis. The grouping into categories according to the themes they represent establishes a link between the lexical level of the text and its themes. A quantitative analysis of the keywords representing the weather allowed us to identify dominant thematic groups and therefore recognize the themes that prevail in weather news of British online press. The identification of such themes enables a more in-depth understanding of the text. Having analyzed the obtained data, we may conclude that weather news has anthropocentric character, since dominant thematic groups are weather extremes and weather and people. Thus, within the corpus of the research, 2 thematic lines can be outlined: the depiction of adverse weather conditions affecting people's daily life and the depicting of the effects of weather disasters on people and their environment. This survey paves the way for the development of more rigorous methodology for the analysis of relationship between keywords and other words in context. It would also be interesting to closer examine weather vocabulary through keywords extracted using the other statistical tests or software packages and compare the results, as well as to find out whether dominant themes related to the representation of weather differ from newspaper to newspaper. The method presented in this research provides more options for further collocational analysis of weather-related vocabulary in weather news of British online press on the basis of concordances and might be used as a cornerstone for the study of other vocabulary through keywords in different discourses. Further scrutiny can be combined with a more interpretative approach to the analysis of weather news in line with stylistic research. Thank you for your attention.